So maybe somebody can tell me what to do on here and send me a message tomorrow on my channel. So I've spent actually more than that, over 12 years of my life helping disabled people, elderly people. Mostly, some of them have the intelligence of a 7-year-old. Meanwhile, other ones, like the one I live with now, are supposed to be independent and safe. Normally, how I handle when these people are trying to hurt other people, they're starting fires, they doing horrible things that are definitely not allowed. When those type of things happen, or if they're playing games, I sit them down. I ask, "Hey, sit down." And if they, if they try to leave, go outside. I just go outside and join them, and then I try to have a conversation with them. I say, "Hey, do you know what you're doing is wrong? You do realize when somebody goes unconscious what to do if they're bleeding everywhere, right? You know what you did is wrong, and you know that next time you gotta call an ambulance, right?" And then I see if they'll do it the next time, what they don't. I also try to ask them to do stuff like, "Hey, see all this over here? Can you help me with it? I'll do 9/10. You just do a little." And then they don't do that 1/10 of the work. Or I just try to explain them in a way they understand. These games are not, you can't do them, they're hurting me. I show them doctor paperwork. I play videos on the TV from medical professionals showing them what they're doing is impossible, or showing them how to do something properly. Like one of them was washing of the hands and dysentery. The feces and the poop and the not washing of the hands and not showering spreads dysentery all over the house and all over my community. I've found it everywhere, everywhere from at Market Basket to my house. And so I've showed them videos of how other people get sick when you do that. But these games continue. So if anybody has any ideas on what to do, please tell me. And that snoring that just got louder in the background, he does this. Whenever I talk, or whenever I ask him to stop, or I play the TV to drown him out, or I put on music so I can't hear it, he'll go so loud that the windows shake, that the neighbors tell me he's too loud. Yet, the TV is also too loud because I'm trying to drown him out, so I make the TV quieter, and then all I hear is him drowning out the TV. And maybe a medical professional can reach out to me and ask me, is it possible for somebody to control the level of their snoring? Can they snore louder when they want to, and can they snore quieter when they want to while asleep? Or is that another game? I don't know. I just sit with it and I try to put the TV on over it, or I just record it, or like the backup recorder I have over there. Is that a game? Is that another roommate game? Is that what that is? Somebody just playing another game with me? Because I'm very, very used to these games. I mean, I just have talks with them about it, but a lot of them do continue. I also play videos so they know the danger, and I also get hurt a lot of times by it. So when I go to the hospital, I have to tell the doctor what they're doing, and then I have to bring home the paperwork and explain to them, "Hey, I've been having intestinal pains for 6 months. This is a big deal. You gotta stop doing all this feces crap. You gotta clean up after yourself. You gotta clean up after your own poop." I make sure to show them that feces can give you a lot of diseases, and that might be why I can't bend over. That might be why I have an infection or something in my GI. It might have something to do with dysentery. But yet those behaviors continue. So I'm just wondering what's going on. You know, and I'm trying to help these people. I have so many of them that I help. But the one I've been working on for the last 9 years is 83 years old. He's losing his mind. He does awful, awful things with a small impulse control. And it seems like a game to me. And I'm about to leave and bounce out of here. But I want a record for the doctors and the medical professionals so they know these games before I leave. Because if he plays these games with the state, it's not going to work out good for the state or him, as well as nobody will have an idea as well of what he's really like. They'll all think that he's somebody he's not, and we can't have lies and manipulations out in society. I'm glad only my heart is beating a little bit weird this morning. It's not totally bad. That's probably because it's freezing cold in my room because I have the windows open. My roommate loves it, but I'm bundled up in a jacket, two pairs of pants, and a blanket. But the fresh air helps my heart, so I guess that's good. I guess so. I'm a big heat guy. I love the heat. I'm not a big fan of even below 50. Right now it's probably exactly 50 in here, maybe 55. Too cold for me. But to wake up because your roommate's playing games again every night for 9 years, and now I'm waking up because the windows get closed, and then my heart beats. Sometimes I close them because it gets real cold. Other times my roommate used to close them to smoke. I don't understand why he's closing them to smoke, but he stopped doing that game as well. I used to open the window because he was smoking. He'd walk over and close it. I would have heart problems. I would have breathing problems. I'd open the window. He would smoke, walk over and close it. That game stopped, luckily. It only took me 7 years to get him to fully stop that game. So, the closing of the windows. He also used to yell at me for it. He would sit in the kitchen, and I would wake up at like 5 in the morning, and I couldn't breathe. My heart would be attacking me. I'd have to take an ambulance to the hospital. They would tell me it's from all the secondhand smoke. And then I would bring the notes down to my roommate, and then he would do even more of it. And then I would go back to the hospital. I would have more heart difficulty, more breathing difficulty. The hospital would say it's from the indoor smoke mixed with the mold. Bring that home, talk to my roommate. It would continue for another year, get worse for another year. This went on for about 5 years. We've been in New Hampshire for 7 to 8 years, and I knew him for 2 years before that. So this continued. When I was in Lowell, Massachusetts with him, I used to have to leave for months on end. I would stay maybe a week or two, and then he would do awful things like fill the whole house with smoke and then tell me to deal with it. Play music so loud that I would be seizing and be in extreme pain. He would turn up to the point where all the neighbors got mad, and I was in extreme pain. I told them that. I would bring doctor's notes, and he would get louder. He would get more obnoxious with the smoke. When I moved up here, I was paying the rent. I'm supposed to be on the lease. And I also have rules on the lease. No smoking inside, no loud noises. I had the landlord to work with this time. So I thought these things might be under control, as well as if I got doctors and states involved. And it did. I was able to get these things under control. I was able to get him to do regular, normal things. But for the first 5 years, my lungs were getting destroyed by his smoke. The loud noises stopped, but he still wanted to do the blasting of the music. Now, I mean by blasting, I mean he turned the radio to max, as high as it could go, where it wouldn't go any higher, until the point where I'm leaving my own house. I am leaving my own house because somebody's playing games. And then after years of explaining to him, talking to him, sitting him down, showing him medical paperwork that he's hurting me, after doing this for years, some of it has stopped. But once when I get him to stop one game and one behavior, he just starts up with another. This is why I'm leaving, and this is why the state has to have a record of this. So I will keep on recording these games. I will continue trying to catch these games, as well as I have hidden recorders that I will go through, and those ones will be a little more difficult to transfer over. But just believe me, this is all I can do is talk to these people. Show them the medical records, show them videos on YouTube and the internet to try to explain what they're doing can't be done. I'll try to go over his paperwork later today so I can tell him what to do about the kink in the neck. Because when he gets up this morning, it's going to hurt like a bitch. I can tell by the way he's sleeping right now that he's going to hurt a lot. I've tried to help him. I told him how to put a blanket and add extra padding into his bed. I told him that the way he has his pillows will most likely kink it more. And I can see from where I'm sitting right now, yeah, he's gonna have a super kink in his neck. And I don't know what to do about that other than bring him back to the doctor. I could barely walk. And he just came back from the doctor with paperwork, and he hasn't even picked up the medication on the list. They gave him two at the hospital, but he has a lot more he has to take. Well, he's going to need one early in the morning when he first wakes up, and he's not going to have any. And that's a problem. So what I might do is I might go to Rite Aid, get my cigarettes there, and pick them up for him, like he does for me sometimes. But he won't tell me he's doing it. He'll just leave the house and pick up my meds, and then I'll leave the house to get them, and they'll tell me somebody already picked them up. Sometimes he'll tell me, but he doesn't have discussions about these things. He just does them like it's a game, and then I waste my time showing up for my own meds. Or I'm not sure if he's picking them up or not, or what the hell he's doing. Because he just leaves the house and does a bunch of weird stuff. He doesn't talk to me about it, even if they're my important medications. He doesn't have conversations in the morning with me about it. He doesn't tell me where he's going. Sometimes he's going to other people's houses and not to my meds. He could be going to his own doctor's appointment. I don't know. I have no clue what's going on. So I have to call the pharmacy and then be like, hey, if he shows up, it's okay to give it to him, but please call me so I know that they're picked up. So now I have the pharmacy calling me to tell me if he's picking it up. And there's like 8 different occasions where he just left and picked them up without talking to me, and I'm leaving the house to pick them up myself. I mean, that's weird. That's weird and unusual. You can have a conversation for 30 seconds in the morning to clear that up. And I've told him this. I've had conversations about these things. I just can't do them anymore. Can't do the games. The games if they're taking 7 years to fix the window one, then this stuff is going to continue, and every time you stop one game, there'll be a new game. And he's not the only individual that does this. There are several. And it's like a childhood behavior that they don't outlearn. I see it all the time.